Hariom students, welcome to online class. Today we are going to learn a third lesson called Glimpses of the Past. Means we are going to know briefly what happened between years 1757 to 1857. Means what are the situations take place, how East India Company enters in our country, all those things we will come to know. Glimpses of the Past was written by S.D. Sawant. So this was written by S.D. Sawant. Observe this picture. He is S.D. Sawant. His full name was his full name was Shivaji Sawant. Born on 31st August 1940, was an Indian novelist in the Marathi language. His mother tongue was Marathi. So many of his works belongs to Marathi language. He is known as Mrityunjaykar, meaning maker of Mrityunjay, means he was one of the writer. He was the writer for the work called Mrityunjay. So he called as Mrityunjaykar because it was very familiar. The work which was written by S.D. Sawant, that is Mrityunjay, was very familiar. So he was called as Mrityunjaykar for writing the famous Marathi novel called Mrityunjay. He was the first Marathi writer to be awarded with Murti Devi Award in the year 1994. So in the year 1994, he was awarded with Murti Devi Award and he was the first Marathi writer to receive that award. He wrote a book, Mrityunjay. In English, it was translated as Triumph Over Death, based on Karna. Karna was one of the characters in epic called Mahabharata. Of course, you are familiar with that name. So, based upon this Karna character, he wrote Mrityunjay. This book was translated into Hindi. This was very famous book, so that's why this was written in Marathi language. So because it was familiar, so it was translated into many languages like Hindi, English, Kannada, Gujarati, Malayalam, and received numerous awards. His novel Chava, published in 1980, is based on the life of Sabaji. He held the post of Vice President of Maharashtra Sahitya President Parishad, was President of Baroda Sahitya Sammelan in 1983. Not only as a writer, but he was also held the post of Vice President of Maharashtra Sahitya Parishad. This is about S.D. Sawant. Before going into our lesson, just we will recall what was there in this lesson. Glimpses of the past. Here are in this lesson there is not textual passages. Actually in normal lessons we have paragraph or 2 to 3 pages, 4 to 5 pages in that way, but this is the lesson where we'll have only pictorial images. Only images will be there, and that images, some of the dialogues, representing some of the dialogues we'll have, and we'll come to know what happened in our past. So here are some pictorial glimpses of the history of our country from 1757 to 1857. As I said earlier, this is the situation happened between 1757 to 1857. These pictures and speech bubbles, already you were familiar with these speech bubbles. Picture will be with the dialogues of that particular picture gives in the speech bubbles will help clarify your understanding of the conditions that led to the event known as the First War of Independence in 1857. Means here whatever we are going to learn, that all the situations leads to the First War of Independence. What are the situations lead to First War? So what are the many situations, who involved, who are the freedom fighters, who are the Indian, how many of them were sacrificed, who are the martyrs in this situation, all these things will come to know in this lesson. Yes, the martyrs. Here, here the first topic is about the martyrs. The martyrs. Martyrs means the person who sacrificed their life. They were due to death because of some social reasons, because of their beliefs or some causes. So here in this martyrs, Lata Mangeshwar Lata Mangeshkar will sing a song that represents, "Oh my countrymen, let your eyes fill with tears as you recall the sacrifices of Indian martyrs." ये मेरा वतन के लगान, oh my countryman means ये मेरा वतन के लगान. In this way, she started singing. Let us see. Yes, this is the situation. This scene represents in Delhi in one function. She is Lata Mangeshkar and she was singing that, "Oh my countrymen, let your eyes fill with tears as you recall the sacrifices of India's martyrs." Alongside her, you can observe Indira Gandhi. She is Indira Gandhi and Lal Bahadur Shastri and Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Oh my countrymen, ye mera watan ke lagan. In that way, Lata Mangeshkar started singing about her martyrs. This is about the first topic called the martyrs. Coming to the second topic, the company conquest. Ignore the spelling here. The company's conquest. During 18th century, British East India Company was During 18th century, British East India Company was extending its power in worldwide. That time, Indian princes were fighting each other. East India Company subdued Indian princes one by one. Subdued means bring under control Indian princes one by one. So, the company's conquest means the company, what is the name of the company here? East India Company. East India Company is a company where they have some small offices in different areas of India and they were administrated into the London. The main office was there in London. They were stockholders. East India Company is a private company owned by stockholders and reported to the administration in London. First, they were started different factories in several places of India. After that, and gradually they were expanding and extending their dominance in India. One of the main reason was Indian people, Indian princes, Indian rulers have their own clashes between themselves. Let us see that. The company's conquest, which was happened in 1757-1849. With its superior weapons, the British East India Company was extending its power in 18th century India. So mainly, what is the main reason for expanding and extending their dominance in India means they were possessed with superior weapons. See, observe this, our India map here, ma. The yellow color which represent Indian princess, all this yellow color which represents Indian princess, the pink color which represents British territory. So this will expand gradually. It was increasing and expanding and extending their dominance. See, Indian princes were short-sighted. So they were discussing that Indian princes were short-sighted means lack of imagination. They can't imagine what these British people were going to do. So they were discussing this. See here, that upstart Rajaba called the English merchants. They will help me to defeat him. Yes, here the situation occurred that they have the clashes between themselves, means the Indian princes have the clashes between themselves. So now they are going to take the help of English merchants. They started the dominance of English people. See, so he is the king of India and he was saying that call that English merchant, they will help us, they will help me to defeat him. He is another people here who he was going to defeat, another Indian princess. So he said in that way, the people had no peace due to such constant fights. So already they have issues between themselves, means Indian princes, they were fighting among themselves. So here one of the Indian prince, they thought that they want to take the help of Englishmen. The rivalries helped the East India Company and it could easily subdue Indian princes one by one. All the rivalries helped the East India Company and it could easily subdue Indian princes one by one. So all the rivalries, they helped the East India Company, that English people, and they were easily subdue means bringing under the control of princes one by one. A far-seeing ruler like the brave Tipu of Mysore fought the British till he died fighting. All the English Indian princes, they thought that English people, they were all the princes, they thought that these English people were helping them. But one and only person, the brave Tipu of Mysore, he thought that he want to fight against the British people. Yes, thank God there is peace in the country now. No more wars and no looting by thugs. So, how did Indians react to this conquest? So, directly or indirectly, somehow English people entered India for the reason of marketing or for the reason of business. Slowly, they subdued means they bring under control of all the princes, but some of the Indians, they were thinking that it is God who sent the British, means they were come to save Indians, they were come to save princes, our destiny is linked with them. So in that way, knowingly or unknowingly, our Indians became slaves to foreigners. See, some of the people, they were thinking there are two opinions now. Whatever the situation happened, we will have two opinions, positive opinion and negative opinion. In the issue of Englishmen also, some of the people, they were thinking that British people came to them to save them from all these fights against all some Indian princes and everything. But some of the people, they were thinking them that they were finally became the slaves for the foreigners. See, this is the opinion of one side of people, and this is the opinion. Let us see this opinion. The white man has killed or dethroned our kings. Some kings were not good, but after all, they were of this land. Of course, our kings, some of the kings were not good, but the reason was because of they were having huge land. Only for this reason we can't say they are bad. But now finally all our Indians, now we have became slaves of foreigners. Finally one side of the Indians, they come to one conclusion, they were became slaves of foreigners. This is the second topic, the company's conquest. The company's conquest means the East India Company. East India Company is a private company, enters in our India and started some of the business, some factories in different places. Slowly it extended and expanded his dominance all over India. The main reason was possessing his superior weapons, and in this guise of helping the Indian princes, they were entered into India and they were killed so many kings, they were occupied so many lands and everything. This is the second topic called the company's conquest. Now entering into the third topic, that is British rule. How the Britishers ruled our India. See, British rule which was happened in the year between 1765 to 1836. Religious leaders preached ideas like untouchability and child marriages. The British imposed heavy taxes on the farmers so that farmers had to abandon their fields. The East India Company's law began to cripple Indian industries. British invented other methods which gave them profits, and inevitable famines followed between 1822 to 1836, which leads to that approximately 15 lakh Indians died of starvation. Starvation means died because of hunger. So, how British people ruled our country in the year 1765 to 1836. Let us see. I hope you understood the two topics, that is Martis and the company conquest. This is third topic, that is British rule. British rule 1765 to 1836. Religious leaders preached ideas like untouchability and child marriages. Of course, we have religious leaders. They were preaching, they were teaching to the people, illiterate people, about untouchability and child marriage. Anyone who crossed the seas loses his religion. And they were also saying that the person who crossed the sea, who crossed the sea, who moved to another country, they lost his religion. All the misery in the world is due to women. One of the preacher, he said that all the miseries means all the problems which was happening in this world, the main reason for all this problem was only women. In that way, one of the preacher said the truth was that Indians had lost self-respect. The British scorned them. See, here the British people having their own discussions about Indians. Here one of the British general, he was reporting to one of the general that the natives are unworthy of trust, incapable of honesty. See, he was saying that the native people, the Indians are unworthy of trust. We can't trust Indian people, and they were incapable of honesty. They don't have any honesty in that way. So being as an Indian, he have to oppose. Observe this picture, ma. He is Indian. He is Indian. Being as an Indian, he used to oppose the situation, oppose the dialogue. But what he said, true, your honor, but I am honest. How it is possible? Here, he's one of the journal. He was saying that all the natives means all the Indians are not trustworthy and they were incapable of honesty. You also one of the native person. You also one of the Indian. Being one of the Indian, you can't say that. But he said that, true your honor, but I am honest. How it is possible? He was mentioning that all overall they were incapable of honest. They were untrustworthy, but he was saying that he was honest. Yes, being merchants, the British wanted quick profits. Their heavy taxes forced farmers to abandon their fields. See, so in previous topic we discussed British people entered into your country as merchants to do some business, to do their business in different places. But being merchants, the British wanted quick profits, immediate profits. So what they done? Their heavy taxes forced farmers. They brought one rule that they have to pay tax. The heavy taxes, not it is not a very less amount, but it is huge amount which the farmer was unbearable to bear that money. So their heavy taxes forced the farmers to abandon their fields. See here, but your men are taking all my crop. One of the Indian and one of the farmer, he was saying that you people, you British people were taking all my crop. So here one of the foreigner, he was saying you are still in arrears, you are still in arrears. If you don't pay next week, I will send you to jail. See how silly it was, how pathetic situation it was. See, it is Indians' land. We, being as an Indian, we have the right on our land. But the people who came from other country, they came to our country and they were imposing taxes upon us. At the same time, they were abandoning their fields, and that is also not enough, and they were saying that still you are in our arrears, so you have to pay the amount, you have to pay the tax next week, otherwise you are going to jail, you are going to imprison. In that way they were saying to our Indians. Still, the British invented other methods which gave them more profits. They didn't stop. Stop with that occupying all the lands of the farmers, but they want to implement more and more methods with to invent to take more and more profits. What are that means? The goods manufactured in England should not have any import duty when brought to India. When brought into India, so the goods manufactured in England should not have any import duty when brought into India. Means it was common importing and exporting between countries, but when one product of one particular country when importing to other countries, some of the tax should paid. But he was saying that when the products from England imported to India, there is no tax. And at the same time, one more thing, England producers were sold for the high prices, whereas Indian producers were sold for very much less price. So this was said by one of the journal, and it was supported a good idea. Means the East India companies last began to cripple Indian industry. How means inevitable famines followed between 1822 and 1836. Nearly approximately 15 lakh Indians died of starvation. Nearly 15 lakhs of Indians died of starvation because there is no money, there is no food. How they are going to survive? So the British policies ruined the expert artisans and their business. Not only the farmers, but also all the British policies which were they were implemented. It was ruined all the small businessmen, all the small people, and they finally all these resulted in famines and starvation. Due to this, 16 nearly 15 lakhs Indians died of starvation. This is about third topic, British rule, how the British people ruled our country. Next, Raja Ram Mohan Rai. You are very familiar with this person. Raja Ram Mohan Rai, a learned person from Bengal, understood what was wrong with the country. He was the first person uh, realized something wrong with his country. He was attracted by science and modern knowledge. He went to England and fight for justice of India. He said to his wife, cows are of different colors, but the color of their milk is the same. Means when he said this dialogue, means when great oppression and religious preachers were saying about untouchability and everything, he said this dialogue that cows are of different colors, but the color of their milk is the same. Means we can compare and we can compare this to the people, though the people, some of them they were in black, some of them they were in white color, but the blood was same. Different preachers have different opinions, but the essence of every religion is the same. This is not preachers but preachers, excuse this spelling. Different preachers, they have different opinions, but the essence of every religion is the same. Means every religion they have different preachers. Or Hindus, we will say we will pray for Lord Krishna. Muslims, they'll pray for Allah. Christians, they will pray for um, they'll pray for Jesus. Finally, the output was every god and every religion. This is us, and they make us to learn, do good and be good. Everyone is equal in that way. So in that way, Raja Ram Mohan Rai was the first person realized something wrong with our country, and he was the first person who went to England and fight for the justice of India. Yes, this the situation happened in year between 1772 to 1833. Ram Mohan Rai, a learned man from Bengal, understood what was wrong with the country. Let us not despise ourselves. Our ancient culture is great, and we are capable of greater achievements. We must first reform our society. Superstitions have been ruining us. He said that first we want to reform our society. If we want to reform our society, we have to stop some superstition. This superstition, it was the root cause for all the problems. In that way, he said, Raja Ram Mohan Rai said. And one day he told his wife Uma, cows are of different colors, but the color of their milk is the same. Which means different teachers have different opinions, but the essence of every religion is the same. So he want to start the discrimination, he wants to stop the discrimination, and he want to make that the first change should happen. He want to stop all the superstitions. He strongly believed that these superstitions was the root cause of all the problems. He was attracted by science and modern knowledge. Knowledge should be practical and scientific. He started newspapers, but the suspicious British stopped them in 1823. So Raja Ram Mohan Rai was very attractive for science and modern knowledge. He believed that knowledge should be practical and scientific. So to share his opinions, to share what was happening in his own country, he started newspaper. That is, this suspicious British people stopped them in 1823. So he crossed the seas and went to England to see what made the British powerful. There he told them. So he was very inquisitive that what made these British people so powerful. So that's why he crossed all the sea and he went to British. We accept you as rulers, and you must accept us as subjects. But you must remember the responsibility a ruler owes to his subjects. Okay. Raja Ram Mohan Roy said that we are accepting you as a rulers. To the British people he was saying. Observe this picture. He is Raja Ram Mohan Roy. To the British people he was saying after going to Britain. So we accept you as rulers and you should accept us as subjects. But you must remember that responsibility of a ruler owes to his subjects. In that way, Raja Ram Mohan